Well, as a policeman, it provides me with extra tools. For instance, if you look at it in a legal way, the permits are given by the municipality, and it's administrative law. It's not criminal law. So it allows us, under the administrative law, to enter buildings, to look into administration, ask questions, and they have to answer. So it gives us extra tools to fight human trafficking within the administrative law. And if I am entering a brothel and I come in, I see a hand grenade, then I put up my police hat and say, well, okay, that's criminal law. But it gives us extra possibilities to enter premises, to interview people. So in my opinion, it made my job in fighting human trafficking a little easier. It's not, as I said, it's not ideal. But if I don't have these administrative possibilities, then I always have to look at it from a criminal point of view. And, well, that's limited. So in my opinion, it was a better situation after 2000. Think of it in another way. If you are forced into prostitution, you can be forced to tell a story about registration. And after she's been registered, I can check that for 3 years. So this pass that she will get as registered prostitute will go on for 3 years. And look at it from a police side of view. How do we know that the holder of this pass is the person who is registered? Is there a picture on it? Is there a fingerprint on it? Is there a name on it, or only her working name? And now she has a picture on it. Can we check if it's not a lookalike? For me, for instance, an African woman, they all look the same to me, or Chinese woman. So it's difficult to see if the holder of this registration pass is really the one who's registered. Of course, we can arrange some things to make that easier. But now that's the tough one in the middle. That's something typical Dutch, in my opinion. We don't adopt the Swedish model, and we do something in between. So what they are trying in the future, and I don't think it's going to work, is that the client who visits a prostitute which is not registered, then the client is punishable. But how should he know? With the same pass? Or do we get a sticker on the windows that's only registered women working here? Or I see some difficulties in that. We do have a witness protection program, that's true. But in my opinion, you shouldn't use that too much. This system is thought about within mafia trials in USA and in Italy, where there's really threat to your life, to your family. And think about what you're asking people if you join this witness protection program. You get a new identity, you have to move, you can't contact your family and your children and whatever. So in daily practice, it does exist, but it's not very successful. We tried it in organized crime cases, and sometimes it did work, but there's a lot of discussion going on. And the next problem is that, for instance, if you tell me a secret in this audience, and tomorrow it will be in the Stockholm papers, you don't know which one of us told the papers. Now we are the two of us, and you tell me the same secret. Tomorrow it's in the paper. You know that it's me who brought it up. And now compare it with the prostitute who is forced into prostitution by a pimp. Sometimes this information can come from various people. Then we can use it. But is it only you and the pimp who knows? It's no use in getting an anonymous complaint, because immediately he will know that you were the one who telling it. No. But as we work in a system which is based on the cooperation of the females, if there are chances that she is going to be into trouble, we will drop the case and try it in a different way. So it's not always that they have to press charges personally. We can build up a case without statement of the women. So sometimes you have to work together if she's able to be a witness in court. For instance, if you've got a lot of psychological problems, you really should consider if you want to bring this woman up to trial for several years. Repeatedly have to re-experience this traumatic experience. So that's a close cooperation between district attorney, police, NGOs. What's the best to do in this case? So we do have witness protection. We don't have any compensation programs for witness protection, but we do try to address financially income that she has earned, and we bring it to court, and the judge will eventually give him a punishment, and also he will give her money as compensation. So it's within the law, but not in the witness protection program. A lot of African people, they are not allowed to work in Holland. So what they do, they marry a Dutch guy. And then they have a permit to stay, and then they can work here. So they try to find loopholes within the law to eventually work here. But in fact, people from outside the EU are not allowed to work within the EU. They can travel, of course, but they have to have visa. So what you see now is that they are also adapting to this new system. For instance, Moldavia is not a member of the EU, but they have the possibility to get a double passport with Romania. So every day at the embassy you see a big line of people from Moldavia trying to get a double passport, because if they have the Romanian passport, they can travel within the fortress of Europe and travel and live over there and try to get work. So, there was another question.
Yes, I wonder about this, the discussion to raise the minimum age to 21.
Yes.
How is that? Why is that?
I don't know. In my opinion, I think there are two sides of this rule. Maybe I can make a joke about this, but what happens within the female mind between 18 and 21, that when they're 18, they are not able to fight against the traffickers, and when they're 21, they do? I don't know. What's going to happen with the girls from 18 to 21, which are not allowed to work in the legal prostitution? I think that will be prostituted in another form of the industry. Illegally, not easy to detect. So I don't know if this new role is really making a difference. We've seen a move from prostitution to the internet. For instance, there has been some investigation by the city. Now they are decreasing the number of windows. Do the women who work in the windows go to work as an escort girl, or work in a club, or go into the internet? Do clients, or buyers who come to the windows, if there are no windows, will they buy in an escort service, or will they go to a hotel or whatever? Well, in this investigation, it said that there are preferences. So a woman who wants to work behind the windows will find a new window. So she will work in Haarlem or Alkmaar or in whatever, where there are still possibilities to work behind the windows. Also, the clients, the buyers, I'll come to you in a moment. The buyers will find similar ways of prostitution. But what I see in the increase of internet with smartphones, with cell phones, in my opinion, that's the future. We already see that. It's the same here in Stockholm. But the problem that we are facing right now is that legally there are some troubles for the police. For instance, there is a site in Holland where 30,000 visitors every day come and see this site. It's like a trade site where you can add and say, well, I'm a prostitute and I can offer you this and this. There's only a cell phone number there. So if the police is trying to find her, we will act as being a buyer. And we will contact this prepaid, so we can't know who's the owner of this telephone number. We contact this prepaid number, and then we are sent to an address. But not really the address, but just the neighborhood. And then I have to send a text message again. And she will tell me it's in this street or this and this number. There even is contra-observation, surveillance from the other side, if there's no police going on. So it is possible to find prostitution on the internet, but it's more difficult than then you know this premises is for prostitution purposes. Till how late should I go on, Patrick? No? Stop? Oh, no. Okay. If you've got any more questions, I will be here, and please feel free.